Thank you, Chris. So I was given the opportunity to speak to some of the representatives who visited the camp in person and were given a sanitized view of the camp. I knew it was bad. They intentionally made it publicly that that the cruelty was the point. I was not prepared for what I heard on that call. They leave the lights on all night, which is torture. Under the Geneva Convention, under the Army Code, you cannot, sleep deprivation is a form of torture, and they're leaving the lights on all night so that the inmates, that they're treating like inmates, who many of them do not have even criminal charges, cannot sleep. They are not given bottles of water. They are given cups to drink from the same water source of the toilet. The toilet is one toilet per 35 or so men that is in the middle of the cage where they spend nearly all of their time. They do not have access to pens, to books, to their lawyers, who are being given the runaround every time they try to meet with them. They are not given access to their members of their faith. Everything you could imagine of this camp is worse than what you could imagine. It rains every day in South Florida. Those tents that they built in 8 days are leaking. The men are getting sick. They are asking for masks. We know how our governor feels about masks for health and safety reasons. They are not being given adequate health care. They are not being given basic health care. They are not allowed to shower on a daily basis. They say that they're going to put women, pregnant women, and children in these camps. When I was growing up here, we had a lot of Holocaust survivors who came to speak to us in public schools. I'm a proud product of Miami-Dade County Public Schools, and I learned a lot. It was part of the Florida Rec curriculum back then, and I hope it still is now, that we studied the Holocaust from 4th grade to 12th grade. I remember reading Anne Frank in 4th grade. I don't know if they still do it now, so I'm having my 4th grader read it this summer. I remember reading Night. I remember reading at least one book on the Holocaust every day. And I'm not saying this is 1940. I'm saying this is 1935. I'm saying this is Dachau. If we don't want to get to 1940 Germany, we need to stop this now. Because what we're doing, what we're seeing from DeSantis and Trump is exactly what the German government did in 1935. Every way, the playbook is the same. The playbook is the same that Hugo Chávez used when he first took power. The playbook is the same that Castro used when he took power, and him and Che did camps for artists, for the LGBTQ community in Cuba, for anyone who disagreed with him. They did political conditioning camps. And just what they did in those camps, a lot of that they're doing in these camps.
I have a question. I'm sorry to bother you. I'm sorry to cut you off. But you guys are saying about DeSantis and Trump, but Levine Cava was the one that signed the papers during March.
I'm glad you mentioned that because this is accurate.
So it should be, I'm sorry?
I want to clear that up.
Okay, because it should be everybody's fault, not just DeSantis and Trump. Levine Cava signed because we're negative. So she's getting paid for this. We're getting paid for this.
That's okay.
We have a digital newspaper and we have all the paperwork.
I'm glad to talk about that. So the mayor has been speaking out against this from before the camp opened. The mayor had the land taken away. The county, not the mayor. The mayor doesn't own the land. The county owns the land, or owned the land. The state, through a legal process, took over the land. It's kind of like eminent domain, but the state version of eminent domain. There was nothing the mayor could legally do to stop them. Nothing. Now, there is a great important lawsuit that was filed by environmental groups that the Miccosukee tribe has joined. That is a lawsuit worth supporting. In order for the mayor to join that lawsuit, Roberto Gonzalez, who was appointed by DeSantis, had to vote for it. So how can the mayor legally join a lawsuit?
She's the mayor.
That the law says she needs Robert Gonzalez's vote. The law says that. We're Democrats. We pay attention to the law.
So you're saying Republicans don't pay attention to the law?
Correct. We're not here. There are a million things that we can do within the law. This is still 1935, right? Germany. There are a million, no one here is advocating for violence. No one here is advocating for anyone to break the law. But there are a million things that we could do, including that lawsuit. That I thank God the Miccosukee tribe joined that lawsuit. And I appreciate all the environmental groups that have joined the lawsuit. That's a very important thing to support. The mayor can't join the lawsuit unless Roberto Gonzalez lets her.
I'm gonna find out.
I mean, you mentioned we're all lawyers. That's what the law says. The county charter and county ordinances say that that the county cannot join a lawsuit without unanimous support from the commissioners. So, in order for, everyone knows that whenever Republicans do something, how is it the Democrats' fault? I'm here to say that if we want to stop this, we need to target the people who actually made these decisions. And the issues with the mayor besides, because the mayor doesn't know who I am. That I don't work for the mayor, and I will happily criticize anyone for what's going on in my backyard. But the important thing is to target the people who did this. And that starts with Ron DeSantis and Donald Trump.
No, Biden, that they permit all the illegals to enter to the border.
Sorry,
Joe Biden,
there's people that are in Alligator, Alcatraz that actually have green cards.
Yeah.
Green cards. There's a guy who was a famous Cuban
Oh, but that's
reggaeton,
in
and
England.
still he has a green card, and they put it in there because they're revoking his green card.
There are two
But
U.S.
to do
citizens in
that,
right
he has
now.
to go to
There
court.
are
And they
two
don't
U.S.
have
citizens.
judges. They don't have people to do
There are
the
two
process.
U.S. citizens in the camp right now. Joe Biden is not president of the United States.
Exactly.
No, was.
And
Joe-
those people were legal. They were legal.
Yeah.
They
So
probably-
A lot of the ones are there.
we are here to put the impetus on the people.
But you don't have to be aggressive. We're just talking.
We are talking.
We're talking.
Yeah.
They're saying
Hi.
bad words already. You're
Ma'am,
saying bad words.
please, wait your turn.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so
No, I
let's
understand.
let's do this. Okay,
We're here
folks,
to hear your opinion.
Folks.
Of course. No,
Folks.
it's not you. It's done. Oh yeah, they're saying
folks,
bad
I'm gonna
words.
ask you, okay. So we are gonna have a time for everybody to ask questions and share their questions and concerns. And this town hall is open to everyone. We are going to, just like I made a vow to Speaker Perez that we would be civilized and we would be cordial in our conversations with him, we will treat everybody that's here in a cordial way as well, okay? Now, I hope that you all will listen
Of
to
course,
what's
that's
being
why
said,
we're here.
right? That you will listen to what's being said, because one thing that I know about each person that's on this panel is that we will speak on fact,
Okay.
not on opinion. So, would you like to finish what
Yeah,
you
the
had to
great
say?
thing about being a Democrat is you can just rely on facts. As I was saying, there are two U.S. citizens in the camp right now. No one should be in that camp, but two U.S. citizens are in the camp right now.
And how did we get there?
So that's a great question. In fairness to everyone, I think we should move on to a question and answer session soon. People who are being caught up by the state who is enforcing a law that the Supreme Court said they could not enforce. The Supreme Court said that they could not enforce that draconian immigration law, but the state is still enforcing it. So they're arresting people and they say that those people are immigrants. And many of them are. And the people that come into the state custody are being transferred to the camp. Now, something important to know is that since the lawsuit was filed, the federal government does not want anything legally to do with this. Everyone's talking about a 287G agreement. We've all been pushing against the 287G agreements. There is not a 287G agreement signed with the camp because Donald Trump does not want to get sued over it. So Ron DeSantis keeps saying he's going to get reimbursed for this. There's no contract with the federal government. There's no agreement. It is legally questionable whether they could be holding these people at all. They're holding them on what's called ICE holds, which often are 48 to 72 hours, where you get released from jail. But if ICE is looking for you, they have 48 to 72 hours to pick you up from the jail, after a judge said you could be released. They're holding people under that policy. People have been there for more than 3 days. So even if this was club fed under the best of circumstances, they are holding people illegally in this camp. And they're holding people illegally under the worst circumstances imaginable. Please, please, let's keep the conversation civil between us. There are people, like the lady said, there are people with green cards that are being held there. There are people without any criminal charges that are being held there. There are U.S. citizens that are being held there. Can I take a question?
We can have two tangos.
Yeah.
Okay.
Folks,
Stillness.
so there's one last thing I want